Hello and welcome to our lesson on understanding resources and time management. This segment will cover the impact of the project management approach on resources and time management. Time and resources management are performed in the different project management approaches, such as traditional, agile, and hybrid. The level of detail, documentation, tools, and techniques are tailored to the specific need of each project lifecycle and the project circumstances. According to Wysocki, all project management lifecycles constitute of 5 process groups that were initially defined by PMI in a Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge. These 5 process groups are: initiating. This process groups includes developing the project charter that includes the project objectives, constraints, budget, milestones, high-level risks, and who are the stakeholders involved. Planning includes developing an integrated and detailed project plan that covers scope, time, budget, resources, risks, stakeholders, communications, procurement, and quality. Each area defines what we will do, how will we do it, and who will do it. Integration is concerned with orchestrating the linkage between all these areas together to ensure what we do in one is reflected in the others. For example, adapting to a certain quality standard might require an increase in project cost and additional activities and time to meet these standards. Executing includes managing the execution of the detailed activities in each of the plans within the integrated project plan by the assigned people. Examples for such activities be performing tasks, communicating with stakeholders, developing team members, procuring materials, and performing quality control activities. During execution, issues and problems occur, and actions are taken to address them properly. Execution also includes completing project deliverables. Monitoring and controlling includes activities to track the project performance, compare planned versus actual, analyze variances, and take corrective actions if needed. This is done throughout the whole project lifecycle at predefined intervals and for all the areas of the integrated project plan. Closing includes activities to formally accept and close the project and administratively close all contracts, document lessons learned, archive project files, and release all resources still assigned to the project. Characteristics of process groups. Each of these process groups has several processes or steps performed within them and cover the 10 knowledge areas within project management, as scope, time, cost, resources, quality, risk, procurement. It is also important to note that these process groups are not phases of the project and that they may interact and overlap. For example, in traditional or waterfall life cycles, planning is usually done before execution and may be revisited based on feedback from executing or monitoring and controlling. Also, you can see monitoring and controlling is done throughout the whole project in traditional project life cycles. While in agile life cycle, planning is done with every iteration throughout the whole project. Traditional or waterfall project management approach is characterized by being sequential and linear. Linear progression through distinct phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closure. Time management involves detailed planning upfront with a fixed schedule. Tasks are dependent on the completion of previous phases, and delays in one phase may impact the entire project timeline. Resource needs are identified and allocated in the planning phase. This leads to rigidity in planning and limited flexibility for changes once the project is underway. Potential for delays. Whenever there are changes or unexpected developments in later phases of the project, and adjustments to the project timeline can be challenging, consuming lots of effort and time. Advantages for waterfall are clear project roadmap from start to finish, predictable timelines and requirements are stable to a major extent. Challenges for waterfall are limited adaptability to changes and higher risk of timeline disruptions due to unforeseen circumstances. Agile project management approach is characterized by being iterative and incremental, dividing the project into small, manageable time-boxed iterations Sprints, usually in the range of 2 weeks. Flexibility and adaptability. Embraces changes in requirements and priorities throughout the project. Time management focuses on short-term goals with regular reassessment and refinement of project timeline based on feedback, progress, and evolving project needs at the end of each increment. Sprint. Parallel task execution during different sprints and reduce dependency on sequential completion for overall project progress. Resources are adaptive and allocated incrementally based on evolving project requirements. This leads to more adaptability in allocating and utilizing resources. Easier to update since planning is done only for short-term or the next increment, or sprint, only, and any changes can be accommodated in future increments, or sprints. Advantages for Agile are flexibility in responding to changing requirements, and continuous feedback allows for timely adjustments. Challenges for Agile are requires active stakeholder involvement, and some projects may struggle with a lack of upfront clarity. Selecting which project management approach or life cycle is a complex process as there are many factors to be considered when choosing the right approach or life cycle for a project. This includes project characteristics. Consider project complexity, scope and requirements clarity, technical or solution uncertainty, and number of required releases or deliveries. Organizational culture. Assess the organization's culture, willingness to embrace change, level of knowledge and experience with the different project life cycles, and select the approach that aligns with organizational values, experience, skills, and priorities. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss the review of project resources management principles. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening, and see you on our next segment.